1 2. Check 1 2. Check. Okay, I think we are live. There we go. Hi, everybody. I think we have a couple of people watching now live. That's kind of cool. Trying to do a live stream now, and just to keep in the habit of it. So let's see. I have what this show is going to be today is we're going to be talking about an update to Merrimack Valley. And my theory that these Type 4, these bulk haul, high capacity Type 4 CNG tube trailers were involved in Merrimack Valley. And I have a lot of compelling evidence, and I have just found what I believe to be kind of like the Rosetta Stone, which will demonstrate that my theory is correct, and the NTSB theory has a little bit to be desired. Now, let me just look for something that I need really quickly. Stand by for 1 second here while I look for the summary. Here we go. All right, so let me just show you this. Make that full screen, and oh man, forgive me. This is a live stream. Okay, so let me show you. I gotta turn off that one. Okay, so show you the display capture. All right. So this is a summary. This is a very quick summary of the issues with the NTSB explanation for what happened at Merrimack Valley. So the first of all is that the NTSB effectively says, if you read their preliminary report, basically they say that there was a single pressure regulator that failed, and this caused the overpressurization of the entire affected area, which is about 12 to 15 square miles. This could only have happened if the entire affected area is functionally a single low pressure segment. And so there's high pressure segments and low pressure segments. The high pressure is the 75-pound distribution main, and the low pressure segments are the segments that go out to people's homes. And that's 0.5 psi. So the NTSB says that the entire affected area, which is huge, is a single low pressure segment. And let me just show you what that looks like really quick. And with my new snazzy Google Earth map, this is it. So let me just turn off some layers to make it a little bit easier to see. I'm going to turn off this one. I'm turning off that one. Okay, and bear with me. I'm sorry, just I need 1 second. Okay, so this is the affected area. This is 2.2 mile radius. This is the center of a 2.2 mile radius. And these are the location of the fires, where you see the fires. One down in Ballard Vale, and this is South Lawrence, this is North Andover, and this is Andover. And there were some reported in North Lawrence, north of the river, but I believe these were incorrectly reported by the Massachusetts State Police. So I'm going to actually turn these off for right now, because we're pretty sure those aren't real. So if we try to draw a circle around the entire area, that's 2.2 mile radius, and there it is. Okay, NTSB says this is a single all of these fires. First of all, this is what they consider to be the affected area, this strange shape. So notice that there are some fires here that are not included, some fires here that are not included. Of course, these up here that may or may not be real. If they are real, that would create a very big mystery. These out here aren't included, and the Ballard Vale is not included. So this is still a very large area, and it's geographically separated. There is kind of like this wetland or a creek that runs through here. There is a highway, and these geographical boundaries make it very unlikely that what the NTSB is saying is true. So we believe here at Terra Vigilate that it's very unlikely that the entire affected area is a single low pressure segment. It is much more likely that it is made up of multiple low pressure segments. Okay. The NTSB says that a single regulator failed at the junction between the 75-pound distribution main and the 0.5 pound low pressure system. And what we believe is that really multiple regulators had to be involved, and that the pressure surge had to be conveyed over the 75-pound main. So this makes it distinct from the NTSB theory. The NTSB is silent on a missing high flow rate alarm coming from the Methuen City Gate. We're going to show you a picture of what this all looks like in just a second. And what we say is that the fact that there was no high flow rate alarm at the Methuen City Gate is perfectly consistent with the theory that we are going to explain to you. But before we explain our theory, we're just going to explain to you what's wrong with the NTSB theory. Okay? So I wish I had my little controller here, but it's to do the camera switching, so I have to do this manually. So okay, now let's take you to let me just find one thing while we're at it. So now I'm going to show you this, which is, make it full size, go back to here, screen capture, and we go back. All right, so this is what the NTSB is saying. This is kind of a functional diagram. It's not meant to be absolutely precisely correct in the details. This is just a kind of a logical schematic diagram of what the NTSB is saying. So basically, here's the 800-pound Tennessee lateral. I'm guessing it's 800 pound. It could be up to 1,000 or so. Comes into the Methuen City Gate, which is an M&R station, metering and regulating. It heats the gas, it odorizes it, it measures it, decompresses it, and it also cleans it, and then puts it on the 75-pound main. The 75-pound main runs throughout the entire affected region, the affected area, and it's connected by a variety of these regulators to, now this is, what I'm describing to you is how the NTSB views this system, okay? And I don't think this is right, but the NTSB says all of these regulators connect up to basically a single low pressure network that goes out to 8,570 homes and businesses. Now, we believe that this is incorrect, and I think we have proof of it now, that the NTSB theory is incorrect. We're going to get to that in 1 second. But what I want to show you here is that really I think that there's at least 3 major geographic areas that are not interconnected. And just to keep it simple, this diagram shows 3. Here's one, here's one, here's one. And we could say that this one is Andover, this one's South Lawrence, and this one is North Andover. So a regulator failed in South Lawrence So it overpressurized. This is according to the NTSB theory. It overpressurized this low pressure segment, but it should have stayed confined to South Lawrence. Do you see what we're saying? That's why the NTSB theory doesn't make any sense. If this is really how the affected area looks, then that means we have to solve a new problem. How did the high pressure gas escape from this segment and jump to other segments which are not connected? That doesn't make any sense. So something else is clearly going on. Now, what I think happened is that, and this solves the problem, but it creates a new one. I believe that these segments are separate, and that means multiple regulators. Out of these 14, we know there's 14 regulators that feed this low pressure system. Out of these 14 regulators, if we have 3 interconnected segments, then we had to have at least 1, 2, 3 regulators that failed at the same time to overpressurize each unique low pressure segment within the affected area. Do you see what we're saying here? This is what we call a common mode failure. We're looking for what was a single root cause that could have provoked 3 up to 3. It's like at least 3, and likely more, of these regulators to all fail at exactly the same time. Isn't that weird? That's really weird. Now, we have an explanation for that here, but I'm just laying out the problem so you can see the problem with the NTSB's theory. Now, let's go to the map and look at this in detail. So, let's turn off the strange... Let's turn off the strange shape. I call that a seahorse, but it could be a Rorschach test. I don't know, but it's a strange shape. Let's turn it off, and let's look at what we have. So let's start filling in some of the gaps. So this is what we know to be true. We know this for a fact that we have this facility here called the Methuen City Gate. And what does it do? Well, the Methuen City Gate forms the boundary between this high pressure transmission line system, this is the Tennessee pipeline, which stretches from Texas all the way up to Massachusetts. And there's a lateral that comes off like this. Like we said, the pressure of this is likely between 800 and 1,000 psi. 800 and 1,000 psi. And from there, it goes off in all directions. 75-pound gas goes off in all directions. So, but we're just gonna concentrate on this section here that leads down to the affected, what we call the affected area. Okay, so you understand what this kind of looks like so far. Once again, this is 75 pounds per square inch of pressure. Okay, so once it crosses the river, it fans out, and it fans out some more. So we don't know the exact location of these pipes. We've been trying to get this information, but it's being withheld from the public. So we've made some guesses just to get an idea of what this kind of looks like, okay? So don't assume that where you see the blue lines that this is actually where the distribution mains really exist. This is hypothetical. Once again, we just want to get an idea, a rough idea of what this area looks like. Now then, Columbia Gas was doing work the day of the accident in this region right here. So this was the regulator they say failed, and this was the end of a section of, it looks like the distribution main. I'm going to guess that it's the distribution main that they capped off, and they were replacing it with plastic pipe. And they left it in the ground, and they left the pressure sensor attached, so that when the abandoned pipe eventually dropped down to 0 pressure, the sensor on this pipe that was abandoned kept on telling this regulator to open up and give more gas because it tries to maintain a constant pressure. This is what NTSB says happened. So now let's turn on what this is what NTSB and what this is the affected area. And NTSB says that because this regulator failed, it charged every one of the, this whole system down here, the low pressure side. The low pressure pipes are not shown on this diagram, by the way. They branch off. Now let's show the regulators. So they're not there. Here are the regulators. Okay. So here are the regulators. Here's 14 regulators. We know there's 14 regulators. So I kind of just put them kind of scattered throughout this area. So this one failed, and it charged this whole system. That's what NTSB says. So what I say is that it seems to me like it's very likely that there are at least 3 distinct areas here. We have the North Andover area, we have South Lawrence, and we have Andover here. And because of the highway and the river, or the creek that runs through here, this wetland, I believe it's very unlikely that these individual low pressure systems are connected directly. They're connected through the 75-pound main. So the question is, if this was where the failure was, why were the gas fires not confined to this low pressure segment? Does that make sense? In fact, it spread to at least 2 others, which is unexpected according to the NTSB theory. It doesn't make sense according to the NTSB theory. So here's what I recently found out. Okay, what I recently found was I recently found a document called the Columbia Gas of Mass Restoration Plan, and it showed 8 different gas zones. And here they are. Here are the 8 zones. And here's Andover. So this is a low pressure system of low pressure pipes that go out to all these different individual homes out here, and they are fed by a regulator, which is attached to the distribution main. I didn't draw that correctly. I'm just fixing it. So this regulator converts the 75-pound gas into 0.5-pound gas and distributes it locally. So this is zone 1. Here's zone 2. And notice there are some unique regulators, 1 or more, that service zone 2. By the way, look what's in zone 2. Zone 2 is where Express Natural Gas is located. This is Express Natural Gas's home base. They're in zone 2. Zone 1, zone 2, we're just going to turn them all on. Zone 3 with its own unique regulator. Zone 4 with 1 or more regulators. We have 14 regulators total. Here's zone 5. Here's zone 6. Here's zone 7. And here is zone 8. Okay. So and now here's what's interesting. I always wondered where the NTSB, or WCVB is where I actually first saw this, the crazy seahorse shape. And apparently that actually came from Columbia Gas. We have evidence of that now. But here's the seahorse shape. And let's put an outline around it. Notice the seahorse shape is perfectly coincident with the 8 zones. So now we know why this is shaped the way this is. This is how Columbia Gas views this network. These are 8 zones, and I believe these 8 zones are each low pressure segments, low pressure systems that are all separate from each other, that are all not connected. So now we've even got a bigger problem. Do you see what that is? So the bigger problem is, if the problem happened up here in zone 5, right? This was where the work was being done between here and here. Why were the fires not confined to zone 5? How did the fires jump to 7 other zones? It doesn't make any sense. So this is the major problem. I'm just going to stop right here and I'm going to check something. Go back to here and all right, let's just check. I want to see if there's anybody watching the stream. So looks like there's 2 watching now. If there's somebody in the channel, just say hi so I know you're here. Say hi by making a comment if you can. Okay, so all right, so by the way, here's what I wanted to tell you, that this my Google Map is, I work in the public interest, and right now I don't have a regular day job, so I do public service work full time. So I survive on donations and grants. I get a small stipend. It covers about a small fraction of my actual living expenses. So I'm down about $1,000 a month. So I need to raise $1,000 a month in order to just meet my basic living expenses, and that doesn't include any money for program costs, which are office supplies, things like FOIL, doing FOIA requests costs money sometimes. I subscribe to different subscription services like Pacer and MarcellusGas.org, those kinds of things. That all costs money. So I really need to raise a minimum of $1,000. So if you appreciate my work, I would appreciate a donation. Right now, I have an offer that for the first donation over $150, I'm going to give away a guitar, a complete beginner's guitar kit, including it's an electroacoustic, and I'll throw in some picks and a gig bag, and which is like a soft case, and some chord books. So it's basically what I paid for the guitar. It's a little bit more because I'm throwing in some books, but it's probably around a $200 value. The guitar is like new condition. It plays really well. I should have had it here, so I could have given you a demo of it, but I don't have it here right now. So that's one thing you can do. My PayPal is where is there we go. Actually, I have to go to the other one. Bear with me. There's that one. Here's the donate link. Okay. So here's the donate link, tinyurl.com. Donate to Bill Houston. That's how you can donate to my work. tinyurl.com/donate to Bill Houston. And So donations are appreciated. The next thing is, if you want the KMZ file for my Google map for Merrimack Valley, it's very, very detailed. As we've shown you, it's got from the source, which is the Tennessee Pipeline, the feeder, the Methuen City Gate, the location of all the fires that have been reported by a variety of news sources. It's got the 8 zones. It's got the 3 zones that are basically conceptually easy to understand, that there's at least 3 zones. We know now there are really more likely 8 zones that are all separate low pressure segments that are not connected, which means the NTSB theory is wrong. Oh, we're showing you me, and I should be showing you the... All right. Oops. Okay. So it's really cool. You can zoom in. So all you need is Google Earth. It's a free download for Google Earth, but I would like to get a donation of at least $100, and I'll give you a copy of my Google Map, my KMZ file, and you can go in and explore. You can turn on all the different layers. There's various map shadings. There's the seahorse shape. This is where the maintenance was going on. This is the center of the 2.2 mile affected area. I've even got a 3 mile enclosing circle, which actually includes what I believe to be all of the actual fires. The actual entire affected area really requires a 3 mile radius, which is it's like 27 square miles. So this was a huge event. This was a massive thing, and we're not getting the correct answer from the NTSB. We're not getting the correct information from the NTSB. Let me just scan this really quick and see if there's anything more that I have to tell you. I just wanted to do a brief live stream here, just so that you can come up to speed. Let me show you this, that this map right here was one of the things that I had to deal with. I had to assemble this map. I had to assemble my Google map from a lot of different components. So this was one of them. I had to manually kind of sketch out these shapes and actually put it back onto Google Maps. So it was quite a significant job to assemble this, and it's taken me many months, and we're basically about 6 months after the event happened. So okay, so would appreciate your donations in any amount. Thanks for watching the channel. Be sure, if you haven't already, please like the video, and most importantly, click subscribe on the Bill Houston podcast on YouTube, and that way, if you click the bell, you'll be able to get informed as to when we go live, or when new videos are posted. And I do have a really major project that I'm about ready to release, and it relates to this subject matter here that I'm about to release. So watch for that in the next day or two. So let me just check the stream and make sure there aren't any comments that I can respond to. If you have a comment and you're watching right now, please just leave a comment in the YouTube chat. I don't see any comments, so I think I'm going to end the stream right now, and I just wanted to, like I said, test this equipment. I've had to move the studio since February or March. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for something really, really big coming up. And Okay. Yep. Stand by. We're gonna have a really amazing video that's coming up very shortly in the next day or two. Donors will get a look at it first, so if you can make a donation, that would be great. One more thing, if you need to send me a donation by mail, you can email me, williamahouston@gmail.com, williamahouston@gmail.com, Huston. I should put that on my pop-up. I don't have it prepared right now, but williamahouston@gmail.com, williamahouston@gmail.com. That's how you can email me, or find me on social media. Find me on Twitter, William A. Houston on Twitter, or William A. Houston on Facebook. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the stream today, and thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.